Miss me with the yeah. All right. All right. Studio to stream, record, and Anthony Adebayo, we off the record. Scotty B, we off the record. And the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record. Scotty B's Fantasy 5, we off the record. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. We off the record. Anthony Adebayo, we off the record. And the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record. Scotty B's Fantasy 5, we off the record. We off the record.
We're different from any other sports show. Please tune in and get a different experience with your boy
and your boy Scotty B. Welcome.
Yo, you just getting a little bit out of hand with the hand clap.
Why, man?
It's not like it was last week.
I like being applauded, man. I think we're doing good work.
Okay.
And so I like being applauded, damn it.
Yeah, now I can feel you. Back in the day, man, we used to shout out how many shows it was.
I ain't even.
Now we coming up on that good old year, man.
And we almost there, man. But this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B. All right, so it's something that I've been dying to ask you. Your Cowboys released Dez Bryant. What's up, man? How you feel about that?
All right, well, I wasn't too happy about it, but I knew it was bound to happen. My whole thing about it is, things happen. It is a business. I just had a problem of the way they did them, because it's so late in the game, and a lot of teams spent their money, and they didn't even try to keep him there, So I can see why, he's pissed, and I can see why, and I'm just hoping it doesn't come back to bite the Cowboys in the behind.
Oh, it will, because that's going to be bad karma. You don't do people like that. But, like you said, other teams do that, and it's the business. So I understood from a financial reasoning why they did it, but I couldn't understand why they would do it and not have a backup plan.
We don't know if they have a backup plan yet,
We got the draft.
Exactly. You have the draft, and you have you picked up Allen Hurns, who I think is a good receiver. I don't think he's better than Dez. I'm sure.
In the same sentence.
Well, we can't say that because they both been hurt lately. Allen Hurns, when healthy, when he played a full season, had over. I think it was well over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns.
You can't compare Allen Hurns to Dez Bryant. It's a contingency plan. If I had to grade it, it's probably a C. You know what I mean?
But again, the good thing about it is receivers like the deepest position on the team. So for a team like that, I think you do need a number one. Somebody that they're gonna say, let's put our number one cornerback on him. So you do need a number one, but I think for the time being, we'll see what happens in the draft. But back to what you said about karma, if it is karma, I hope it's the Eagles' karma, because the Eagles did Deshaun Jackson worse than what the Cowboys did to Dez, and they just won the Super Bowl. So if that means we're going to win the Super Bowl soon, then so be it.
I disagree with that statement.
Whoa, with what?
With what you just said.
With the Eagles did Deshaun Jackson worse?
They did Deshaun Jackson bad.
They did him worse.
But no, not really. Because they gave him enough time to.
No, they didn't. He got cut after Dez got cut. He got cut damn near in the summertime. It was after the draft.
Yeah, I don't know. It's two sides to every story. I will say this. I hope that my team gets Dez Bryant. I think he has a lot in the tank, and I would definitely take Dez Bryant over Allen Hurns. Now, Allen Hurns.
I would too.
Yeah, Allen Hurns has had a pretty. He's exceeded expectations because he's an undrafted rookie. I think that he benefited from the year that Blake Bortles was just throwing the ball a lot. I think he was the recipient.
Him and
Allen Robinson.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Now, Allen Robinson's the real deal.
Allen Robinson is the real deal. Hurns is.
You know what Hurns reminds me of? He reminds me of Alvin Harper.
No.
Yes.
No.
He definitely. And then here's why. Because Alvin Harper was the man with the Cowboys, and he benefited from having Jay Novacek and Michael Irvin on the other side. So once he left, he was just a decent receiver.
Allen Hurns reminds me of J.J. Stokes.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Stop. You being funny
No,
now.
I'm not being funny.
You're being funny because J.J. Stokes was trash. J.J. Stokes was trash every year he was in the NFL. Allen Hurns has been to the Pro Bowl as a Jaguar when the Jaguars were trash. So, I mean, we'll see. But let's all right, other than that, you got the New England Patriots and Tom Brady and Gronk. They didn't show up to OTAs and
voluntary OTAs.
Understood, but they're normally there, and especially Brady, and even Brady, they reported that he's uncertain of if he's coming back this year or not. So I mean, there's even since last year, there's been a lot going on in that Patriots camp where things are just different.
I do agree that it is different. It's not typical of Tom Brady and Gronkowski to miss OTAs or voluntary OTAs. Normally, Tom's there as the main leader in the locker room. But I think it's a slight overreaction. The way that he lost the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised if he just wants to reevaluate things. I mean, Tom Brady, if he looks at it, what more does he have to prove? I think he still has a lot left in the tank. Mm-hmm. I definitely think that he is coming back because Tom Brady is arguably, I'm not going to say the best football player of all time, but he's right there in that conversation. He's going to take the farewell tour. He's going to do the Kobe Bryant and the Michael Jordan, and no, he is, and it's well deserved. He might Brett Favre us and maybe skip all of training camp at OTAs and then decide to come back at the last minute. But I highly doubt that he's just going to retire while getting the fanfare.
No, yeah, and I agree with that. And that's the thing. I wouldn't say it's an overreaction, and the reason why is he may just say screw it. They've been together. Him and Belichick's been together 18 years, and they probably just tired of each other. And it could be he'll just show up after camp's over, but I don't think that's going to go over well with Belichick.
Well, you got to look at a lot of different factors. And, a lot of times because we've seen Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and Robert Kraft be on the same page, they're all human beings. So you look at Tom Brady, it was publicized that Bill Belichick didn't want to get rid of Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. You got the whole ordeal going on with his trainer.
Right.
With kicking his trainer out. And like you said, after 19 years of putting up with that, he just may be sick of it. And look, I deserve to be treated a little bit different. One could argue.
He's not bigger than the team. He's still not bigger than the team.
I wasn't going to say he's bigger than the team, but he's made Bill Belichick, just as much as Bill Belichick has made him. I mean, Bill Belichick was a great defensive coordinator when he was with the Giants, mm-hmm. and he had some success without Tom Brady. But as a head coach, he has not had the same success without Tom Brady. And I think that they both need each other. And I think right now we're just tiptoeing into that where we're looking for storylines. Because you got the same thing going in basketball with the Spurs.
Yeah, but the Spurs are about to get swept. We'll talk about that later on, but they're going to get swept. So
okay, so I got to ask you, are we overreacting to what's going on with Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs?
No, but I guess we can talk about that. Like, I think that Kawhi Leonard has it. They all look bad. Nobody looks good in this situation with the Spurs.
Okay, without getting into your
yeah.
predictions, I do want you to elaborate. Why do you think nobody looks good in that situation?
Because you got the coach
Greg Popovich.
Popovich. You got him doing things that he's never done as far as calling out his group, his people. He's calling out, not necessarily calling them out for being hurt. Actually, yeah, they saying he feels that he's not as hurt as he says he is. Kawhi is not with the team while they're having the playoff run, saying that he's training in New York, and he's how can I say? They're just saying that it doesn't look good. Why he should be somewhere? The games are in San Antonio and in Oakland. You can have a train. You can fly your train out. You make millions of dollars. You can fly whoever's doing your rehab out, so you're able to be with your team during that time. All the while, it's been the things that Popovich's been putting out in the media since his injury, pretty much all season, has been un-Popovich-like.
Okay, so you made valid points. I think you did make a great point with him training in New York. That is a little weird.
Yeah.
So my question to you is this relationship irreparable?
No, absolutely not. Because I don't think Kawhi's. I think he's gonna be with the Spurs next year. I don't think he's going anywhere. And if I would be surprised if he's anywhere other than San Antonio.
Interesting. No, because I mean, you look at it. Until you made that argument, you think about it, they don't have to trade Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
I'm not real sure what his beef is.
Who, Kawhi?
Well, I have an idea. He wants better talent around him.
And he that and he feels that his star should be shining brighter, which it should. I mean, you're a lottery pick, and Kawhi is arguably top 3 player in the league. Top 3, top 4 player in the league. His star should be shining brighter.
Okay, but who's responsible for that, though?
I mean, I just think it's the culture of the Spurs. That's all it is. That's their culture. If you think about it, who's been like a top bright spot for let me not say bright spot, but who's been that superstar for the Spurs? You had Tim Duncan, but even when you had Tim Duncan, he was like the quiet superstar. You had David Robinson, but David Robinson was always outshined by Hakeem and Shaq and other big men in the league. He was never considered the best big man in the league.
Okay, so this is why I walked you into that question.
Okay.
Because now we're getting into the same rationale for Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Is it an ego thing? With Kawhi, I would argue that, okay, yeah, his star should shine brighter, but does he have the personality for a star to shine bright? Because a lot of those guys, and this is my opinion, I just know them from the outside. I don't personally know them, and I don't have any stories, but their personalities almost marry each other. You know what I mean? Like David Robinson, a little bit different, but he had a quiet way that he went about his business. Right. Same with Tim Duncan, and you just always assume that Kawhi Leonard was the same type of person. So if he's ready, the real Kawhi is ready to just break out and shine bright, man. Beat on, brother. But I don't see it. And as far as the talent, I think the Spurs are just as competitive in getting talent as any other organization. I mean, you look at LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Gasol is no chump.
But they're not superstars though.
But what other superstar could have come there?
LeBron, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but we look at LeBron, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. LeBron's on the tail end. He's not playing like it, but he doesn't have that much longer left in the tank. I mean, eventually Father Time is going to catch up to him. Now, whether that be 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I'm not sure, but he's got a little bit of age with him. So I don't know if I'd be sold on trying to get LeBron James.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, we'll definitely talk about that in the future. But we're gonna take a
Near
quick break.
future.
Probably later on in the show, but we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. We have a guest calling in.
Okay.
Imani McGee-Stafford. She's gonna call in, and we're gonna talk to her a little bit and see what she got going on.
All right. Sounds good, man.
This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
Welcome back.
Okay.
Okay, so coming to the stage. Now I'm just joking. So joining us today we have Imani McGee-Stafford. She currently plays for the Atlanta Dream of the WNBA. She's a University of Texas graduate, and she's the little sister of JaVale McGee, NBA champion JaVale McGee. Imani, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm all right.
Hey, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So I met you out in LA for the Steve Francis's celebrity game, and I will say that she can ball. She can ball.
Yeah, that event was super fun. It was nice getting to meet a lot of different people from different walks of life and careers and stuff. And it was all for a good cause, so it was a fun event.
Absolutely.
So I heard you was out there throwing everybody's shot.
I was messing around, messing with people. And when I play with men, they always want to get serious and go really hard. So it's always fun.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever played JaVale recently?
I have played my brother. During the NBA lockout, I got to work out with him like 24/7 because he stays in LA during off season. And obviously they had nothing better to do. So I got to go to all the NBA pro-am games and be on his team and go against him. And like the last time we played each other was he brought the championship trophy back to Flint because that's like where my family's from.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And we played pickup in the high school gym, and like I was guarding him and stuff, and like he did not dunk on me, and I ripped him once.
Oh.
So there you go.
Oh, so that's
I'm a
bragging
better
rights.
child.
Well, one of my funniest moments was, and a lot of people won't remember this, and I always remember weird stuff, was your brother was in the slam dunk contest, and he had a dunk where he brought your mother out. And she went and shook everybody's hands. And Dr. J, I guess he went for a kiss. He shot his shot big time on TV.
Yeah.
I was like, Dr. J, you got to calm down, man. You know what I'm talking about?
I had a high school playoff game during the dunk contest, and I was so upset because we ended up winning by like 50. I didn't even play in the second half, and I had told my coach, like, I'm not coming to the game. Like, my brother's in the dunk contest, but he made me come. And everybody had told me, like, at halftime, like, your brother lost the dunk contest, but your mom kissed Dr. J. And, like, it was a running joke for, like, a month. And I was just like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, no, he was a lot of fun. We're, of course, located in D.C., and just watching him play and blossom in D.C., always fought the Wizards for not giving him the playing time. They had Brendan Haywood starting in front of him, and he should have been starting. But enough about JaVale. Tell us about yourself. What are you into these days?
I'm actually currently at Adidas. I'm an Adidas athlete, so I'm actually currently at Adidas for a Creator Summit. All the women athletes are here, women's basketball players, and we're talking to the branding, marketing, and kind of just talking about what we want to do this season and what resources we need and what our vision is. So it should be some really fun stuff coming out from Adidas, especially on the women's basketball side. And so I actually took a break from all the photo shoots and stuff we're doing today to talk to you guys.
So one cool thing that me and Anthony talked about probably about a couple weeks was the women's NCAA tournament was far better than the men's. Just
crazy this year. So good.
Crazy. And if you look at a lot of women's basketball, it is, in a lot of respects, better, more competitive, and more skillful. Why don't women's basketball get the just due that it deserves?
There's the first, we're women, and obviously just being a woman in male-dominated places, you have to be 10 times better. But most NBA fans aren't basketball fans. They're fans of Riley Curry. They're fans of crazy dunks and stuff like that. And so they don't understand the fundamental, and that's what women's basketball is. It's fundamental basketball. Granted, we have Candace Parker, Leda Deladon, and a lot of people that are doing crazy stuff off the bounce and fun stuff, and we have the players that could dunk, myself included. But the oohs and ahs, like when you look at the game, if you don't know basketball, you're like, oh, I could do that. You can't, but you think you can. So
right.
It's just not as aesthetically pleasing to people that don't understand the game.
All right, and I'm I guess piggyback off of that. So, your season is about 3 months, right? The WNBA season is 3 months or 4 months.
About 4, and then playoffs.
Right, and so during the offseason, of course, you guys don't get the contracts like the men, but what do you do, I guess, to offset that as far as like playing overseas and things of that nature?
Most of us go overseas full time. I'm a brat, so I've never done a full season overseas. I've been blessed to be able to only go for playoffs or like my first year. I actually had a real job after my WNBA season, my rookie year. I was an accountant for 2 months, and I hated it, so I went overseas.
Yeah.
And I only went for playoffs. And then this year I did a half season in China, and I came home and worked out and got to do off-the-court things. And then I went to Lebanon for playoffs. So I've been blessed where I don't have to go the full 8-9 months. But
Nice.
Most of us do, and it's definitely a grind, and it definitely is hard for most professional basketball players who don't have an off-season where we can just get in the gym and get better. And beyond that, just rest. Most of us are 24/7, 365. So.
Wow. Well, okay, so first, that's amazing being good enough to where you can just show up to the team when the playoffs, like, look, I'm starting. I ain't work out. Hey, you got to go back to the bench. So shout out to you for being that good. But you did bless us with some knowledge I didn't know. So a lot of WNBA players have to pick up regular jobs in the offseason?
Not a lot of us. It's a personal choice. And it also depends on who you are in terms of tier of player.
Okay.
So I was drafted 10, and I didn't really get that many endorsements my rookie year. So I didn't want to go overseas because at the time I was in a relationship, so I wanted to be at home. So I had to get a normal job. But it really just depends on who you are. And obviously rookie contracts aren't the same as veteran contracts. So you can live off of that contract and not go overseas and just manage your money well. That's possible.
Okay, it's funny that oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No, because you kind of segue into my next question. How do you balance, like, playing overseas and then WNBA with, like, your family life? That's got to be complicated.
It kind of just depends on what you want. Like I said, I think everybody has their own way of doing it. There are some players that sacrifice the checks to stay at home with their families, and there are other players that bring their families with them, and other people do it long distance. So it is a question that you have to ask, and it's frustrating because we don't have the luxury of being able to play in front of our friends and family the majority of the year. We're going to Russia and Lebanon and China and Israel and Europe, and it's definitely a thing. And for me, like, I was married to a football player, so he couldn't drop everything and come overseas with me. That wasn't a thing. And so long distance it is. You visit each other when you can. But other people, they have partners or boyfriends, husbands, girlfriends, whatever the case may be, that can drop everything and come with them and live in that country.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be tough. All right, so aside from basketball, I know you have your vlog on YouTube. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I just started my vlog, and it's kind of just an attempt because I think one of the biggest problems with women's sports is that we don't get the media coverage we need, and I'm a big believer in people don't care about the what, they care about the who and the why.
Right.
And for the men athletes, we know why Steph Curry plays. He plays for his family. We know why LeBron plays. He's from Cleveland. He cares, da-da-da. We have all these backstories, but we don't have that for women athletes. So anytime you can avail yourself to the public and give the public a piece of you, it draws fans. So I just started my YouTube series, and it's kind of a mixture of just my day-to-day life. And, like, I travel a lot, so I try to, like, do little vlogs about when I travel, especially when I'm overseas. And it's just been really fun. It's young, but it's getting better, and it's some fun stuff to do in my off time.
Wow, that's amazing. So, okay, I do got a stupid question. Who's your favorite player in the NBA? Aside from
JaVale McGee.
Aside from JaVale.
I love Dirk Nowitzki. I'm a huge Dirk fan. Oh, my God, I love Dirk. I used to tell my coach in college, if Dirk doesn't have to bend his knees, neither do I. It didn't go over well, but that's been my life motto.
Okay, so you're favoring the Warriors to win the championship?
Yes, of course. Honestly, actually, the only game I got to go to last season was Game 5 of the NBA Finals.
That was the final game.
I know. And it was the only game I got to go to.
That's the only one you needed to go to.
And I busted a mission to get there, too. I had an off day, and I flew red-eye, and I got all the way out there.
Nice.
And that was the only game I got to go to.
All right, so I know we talked in L.A., and I didn't even tell you, my brother actually plays in the NBA as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo with the Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my little brother.
That's so funny. That's so cool.
Yep. So I'm
Did
actually.
you play sports as well?
I play football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually going for the Heat to win it.
Oh, it's not looking too high for you guys.
It's 1-1. It's 1-1. So you know, we'll see. We'll see. But
them young boys hungry. I don't see it.
I have the Heat winning in either 6 or 7.
See, I got the Sixers beating the Heat. I mean, even though his brother plays for the Heat.
Them young boys hungry. I don't.
See, that's unfair because Scotty actually has family on the Sixers, and through marriage, but still, that's
Yeah, it don't count.
Yeah, it's still so yeah. But anyway, so as you prepare for you're back. You said you're at Adidas at the Adidas site, which that's in Oregon as well, right?
Yeah, I'm in Portland right now. Yeah.
Okay, so is that taken away from your time because your season starts in about a month, right?
Soon. Yeah, we have we open training camp April 29th, and our first game is like May 18th, May 20th, but we start preseason games around like May 5th. So yeah, it's definitely soon.
That's soon.
Hold on. Training camp starts April 29th, and your first game is like May 6th.
First preseason game May 5th. Yeah,
first preseason
you
game.
get right to
But
it.
still, that's like fast. It's like a week.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And then, I mean, you got to think, too, if everybody's playing overseas and trying to get everybody back into shape and build team chemistry, like, wow, that's really fast.
So
it's kind of like one of the pitfalls of having a short season in the summer and most of us playing overseas.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I know, so you were drafted by Chicago.
Yes.
And you were traded to Atlanta. How was that transition?
So I was drafted by Chicago, 10 overall, and I was traded an hour before the trade deadline to Atlanta last year.
Oh my God!
An hour before the trade deadline? What?
Yeah.
How was that?
So in my case, I asked to be traded, so I was kind of just waiting.
Oh, okay.
For a very long time. But trades are crazy. It was a lie. I literally got the call an hour before trade deadline, and then my new coach called me right after my head coach called me, and they had a game 2 days later.
Wow.
And they were like, all right, so pack up your house, ship your car, and meet us here.
Now, and I don't want to get too personal. Why did you ask for a trade?
It just wasn't a good situation for me. So the coach that drafted me was fired. And I loved her. She really believed in my game and made me better. The new coach I didn't really fit in the way her style of play.
Okay.
And she didn't really have a place for me, really. And, you know, everything ain't for everybody. And I think for me, I know my worth. I'm blessed to be in a position where I know that I can get on another roster.
Yeah, that's a tough transition, like, because you play center, right?
I do. Center forward, depending.
Yeah, and it's like they're almost phasing, like, the center position out, or every team has like a different philosophy on how they use the center. So
yeah, we were just actually talking about that with Candace Parker yesterday. We did a panel, and we kind of talked about women's basketball. We talked about our own individual journeys through basketball, and Candace Parker was saying, like, positionless basketball isn't new, and if anyone's going to tell you positionless basketball isn't new, it's Candace Parker.
Right.
She's a 6'5" guard, and she was the first to be a 6'5" guard besides Shamik Coleslaw back in the day. But women's basketball has been moving towards position basketball for easily a decade. Candace Parker's been in the league for a decade. So we have Elena Deladon, Brianna Stewart. So that's not new. It's new for you guys. It's new for the men.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that because the men ultimately is positionless as well. You have Ben Simmons, who's pretty much like 6'9", 6'10", and he's a point guard. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a change.
But I think at some point it's going to go back to structure. I mean, everybody's shooting threes now, but eventually, once everybody starts shooting threes, everybody's going to start working the ball down low. So I'm just a believer that we're just in like a fad. I think somebody's going to figure it out, and they're going to try something different, and it's going to go right back to the old way too. So I just think
it's a mixture of both, though. I think it's not necessarily about phasing out the traditional center and pounding the ball inside. I think it's about making the game more skilled. And in men's basketball, that's a big need. Like, DeAndre Jordan was airing free throws until recently. Like, this man got a whole, like, you guys, the men's basketball, because men are so athletic, they're allowed to miss a lot of fundamentals and miss a lot of skill work. And so for us, we don't have the benefit of being able to dunk when we want to.
Right.
And no one cares. Like Zion Williamson, I think he's going to Duke or whatever.
Yeah, he's going to Duke.
The little high school kid.
Yeah.
He's an undersized. He's not going to play a 5 at the next level. Right. Have we seen him do anything besides dunk?
No. And we don't even know if he can shout a mid-range jump shot. We don't even know if he can shoot a 3. And
exactly, but we don't care though because he's dunking and I mean, shout out to him. Like, get it how you live, but like that's the beauty and the curse of the men's game. Athleticism hides a lot, and you don't necessarily have to work on a lot of skill if I could just dunk on everybody.
but to your point, you if you lose that skill, you don't have much longevity in the league. And you see some of the guys, like, once they lose their leaping ability or their athleticism, I mean, they just find themselves out of the NBA.
Exactly. And so I think that's the position of basketball isn't moving away from traditional basketball in terms of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, playing inside post work. It's making sure everyone has the skills to be here. It's encouraging people to work on those skills because now we have Ben Simmons. Who am I putting on him? If the center I have on my roster can't move their feet.
We're going to put D. Wade on him tonight, and no, I'm just joking.
I think it's an encouragement of skill work and making sure that everybody's really working on their game and not hiding behind their athleticism.
Right.
Okay, so just talking with you, and, I mean, I don't know, but you sound like you're ready to coach after your playing career is over.
I hear that a lot. It's a side effect of being the daughter of a Hall of Famer. And being around basketball before I could walk.
You sound like
I don't want to be a coach ever.
You sound like a coach, though. I think you would make a good coach. I mean, not to put you in that box, because I'm sure you'd be good at anything, but you sound like a coach. You got me fired up, ready to suit up.
No, I mean, it's just I've been around the game my whole life. I actually came to basketball very late. I didn't start playing seriously until high school. But I've been watching my brother play my whole life. I've been watching all my mother's games. My dad played. My dad's sister is a college coach. Like, I've been in the gym since before I can remember. So I learned the game intellectually before I learned it physically. I watch it and I look at it differently and I study it differently. But I don't know. I just feel like, especially being a women's coach, you sacrifice too much. it's a sacrifice because I'm competitive. So I can't just coach a high school team. I have to be the world champion. I have to be a college coach. Like I'm too competitive, and I would have to give my life to it, and I don't want to. I want to like raise my kids and be at home and do all that stuff. And I think it's a lot harder for a woman to do that as a coach.
Yeah, I guess like everybody's seen the 30 for 30 with Pat Summitt, and you know about her child and how he was raised and the sacrifices that she made. So, now valid point.
Well, you know there hasn't been a woman head coach in the NBA yet, so.
Becky Hammond's coming for that spot, though.
She is.
And she'll probably get
Becky Hammond is coming for that spot.
She is. And I think she'll do a hell of a job. And she's under a great coach. She's probably one of the best coaches.
If anybody going to get you there, it's Pop.
Yep. So I definitely agree with that. So let me ask you, before we wrap it up, if you had to give, I guess, like my daughter plays basketball, and she's probably listening now. If you had to give her some advice on as far as, you know, moving forward and playing ball and staying focused and things like that, what would you give her? Or any child?
I would tell young girls and young players in general is learn how to work hard now. I was a lazy little thing for the longest. And as good as I was in college, I could have been so much better. Oh, my God. And I look back now because I learned how to work hard probably going into senior year going into the draft. And I look back now like, yo, if I was working like this, eating like this when I was in college, oh my God, I would have been All-American. I'd have been, and the crazy part is I'm one of the best players in school history, not to sound arrogant, but like my stats say I'm like one of the best players in school history at Texas. And I was injured. I didn't really even care about ball. Like it was just something I did to pay the school bills. You know what I mean? So I say learn how to work hard as early as possible because even if you're not the most talented, and I learned this the hard way too. I was benched my junior year to a sophomore who wasn't better than me at all, but she worked hard and she listened better and she did what my coach asked.
Right.
So you know, like learn how to work hard, learn how to be coachable, and do that now because at the end of the day, coaches are going to take the player that's working the hardest that they know when they get out there. If I say cut, screen, whatever the case may be, you're going to do it because I said do it, and not because you think you're better than me, smarter than me, whatever the case may be. So I tell them to learn how to work hard, learn how to listen, and be coachable because once you get to a certain level, everybody's good. What separates you? And I've seen players that probably ain't the best, my college experience included, but they get the playing time because they work hard and they earn it.
Wow. So what made the light bulb switch off for you your senior year to make you work hard or want it?
It was a mixture of having to do an internship to graduate. I majored in accounting. Okay. I had to do an internship to graduate. And I was like, wow, this is my life. Like, I got to wake up when somebody tell me to. I got an hour lunch break. Like, like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then my mom is Big Pam ain't no joke. And she was like, look, you got my name on your back. At the time I was married, so I didn't. But she was like, you're going to be, you know, like, this is how you eat. She was like, you want to come out and play? They going to send you home. That's on you. But don't call me when you don't got a job or you working a 9 to 5. Like, it's the difference. That's the difference. In college, they need you to succeed. So they're going to tell you to get in the gym. They're going to put you in situations to succeed. They're going to make you work out. Because at the end of the day, they didn't pay for you for a year. They can't really do much for that. But in the pros, you don't want to work? All right, I get another one. It's somebody else. She may not be as good as you, may not be as tall as you, but she hungry.
Whew. It's cold-blooded, man.
Yeah.
That's some jewels right there, man. He's dropping knowledge.
All right, so again, we appreciate you for coming on and you know, giving us your point of view and like Scotty said, dropping some knowledge. We definitely appreciate that. I guess shout out your social media so everybody can follow you and check you out and things of that nature. Yes,
I appreciate coming out. This has been a great time. I'm really enjoying speaking to you guys. So thank you for having me. And you can follow me on Instagram at Imani Trishawn, IMANI TRISHAWN. On Twitter, Imani Trishawn with the _ at the end. My YouTube is my name, Imani McGee-Stafford. I think that's all I got. And my Snapchat is pretty beefy, but I'll be ratchet on there. Don't follow that.
No, not you. You don't look like you're ratchet. Not at all.
Sophisticated.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ratchet. Okay, that's a new one. I haven't heard that one. Sophisticated Ratchet.
All right, so again, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And live hand clap.
Yeah, definitely thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, you take it easy.
You too. Have a great day.
All right, you too. All right, that was Imani McGee-Stafford, WNBA. Mom is a legend, a Hall of Famer, younger sister to JaVale McGee.
Yeah, really interesting woman, and I just like what she said about working hard. I think a lot of people just think that the opportunities are just given to them, and you know, a phrase I heard today when I was walking, somebody said, "Hey, Bentleys are never on sale." I was like,
well, they're not.
They don't give Bentleys away. You got to work for it. So just right along, hey, got to work for it and stay hungry. So.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs.
Hey, let's do it.
All right, this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy, Scotty B.
Giannis, he loves to push the ball. Drew Bledsoe, he loves to push the ball. You got Chris Middleton, who makes tough shots, and we just try to limit them to what they're good at, and by just being long off the ball and just showing our presence. And I feel like we did a great job at that.
Rozier's gotten off to a strong start to the series, no turnovers in 78 minutes. How personally do you take that matchup?
Who?
Terry Rozier.
I don't even know who that is.
Welcome back.
Hey, man. Okay, so Rozier.
Explain to them who was just talking, though, first.
Okay, so Eric Bledsoe and Rozier. Rozier plays for the Celtics.
Yeah, Terry Rozier.
Terry Rozier, he's a point guard. So I guess he was asked a question about Eric Bledsoe and how good he was and how he controls the tempo. My thing is, I always think about Drew Bledsoe. I've called Eric Bledsoe Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, but if somebody hears you say that, they know they know you. They like, oh, he's just screwing up a name again. That's what you do.
Exactly. So but we don't know that about Terry Rozier. He could be screwing up people's names.
No, he
all the
definitely
time
did
too.
that on purpose.
He did it on purpose.
Definitely did that on
He
purpose.
could have did it on accident.
No, and here's the funny thing though. I'm gonna get to Terry Rozier in a second, but Eric Bledsoe knows exactly who Terry Rozier. He was just mad because he got called Drew Bledsoe, right? And I mean, you should know who he is because he's running you up and down the court. He's killing you, So Bledsoe's not playing well so far in the first 2 games. We'll see what happens. But as far as Terry Rozier, this is why he knew exactly what he was doing. First of all, he plays in Boston, and Drew Bledsoe was there before the guy who is there now, and that's Tom Brady. And so Drew Bledsoe is kind of known as like the loser in in Boston. So he's calling him a loser. You see, he's calling him like he's like the right. He's troll. I mean, listen, these young. I mean, and come on. Hey man, I'm just saying.
Slick mouth.
I'm just
I didn't even catch that. I thought it was an honest mistake.
Nah, it wasn't. It was definitely troll. He was definitely trolling him. He definitely knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. And you got to think, Eric Bledsoe's probably been called Drew Bledsoe by accident a number of times.
Yeah, I called him Drew Bledsoe.
So he's probably like, come on, man. By this guy, he's not even a starter. But on all jokes aside, Terry Rozier is balling, right? Him and Jaylen Brown.
So how do you think Eric Bledsoe is going to respond? Because he's got to do some talking on the court. I mean,
absolutely.
His game's
his game better be better than it was the first 2 games, or they're going to get swept. But I don't think they're going to get swept, though.
It's a lot of teams is looking like they're about to be swept. I want to tell you the most disappointing team is the Wizards.
Absolutely.
The Wizards are stinking the gym up. And I want to tell you, if the Wizards go out the first round, they got to break that team up.
I think they're going to break them up anyway. Some way, somehow. I think Wall and Bill will still be there and Otto Porter, but they're going to have to get some new pieces in there.
They've got to get rid of one of those 3 to get new pieces, and I think that team has reached the ceiling. You know who they remind me of? They remind me of the Atlanta Hawks a couple years back when they had like Joe Johnson, Josh Smith, and Al Horford and Michael Bibby. And it was
Michael Bibby?
Yeah, Michael Bibby played for him for a while.
I'm talking about when they were really good. He wasn't no factor.
He was on the team.
They had another point guard.
They
had
Jamal
Teague.
Crawford.
No, they had Teague.
Okay, so
Jamal Crawford wasn't on the
So
Hawks.
Teague backed up Bibby. And then Teague took the.
I'm talking. Nah, see, you talking about that's like Teague's rookie year, because when Teague was the starter, then you had the guy that's there now with the little gold. I forget his name. Schroeder.
Yeah, but before that, when they were good, like they weren't good when Teague. Cause I figured Joe Johnson's been gone from that team for a minute.
Well, either way, I know what you're saying.
Well,
or the Kings. From when Bibby played on those Kings teams. Those are like one of the best teams not to win a championship.
I guess you can compare them that. I don't think the Wizards were ever favored to really win the championship, but you would think that a team that's played together that long would be a lot further along in the process.
Right. All right. Go ahead. My fault.
Ty Lawson was a good pickup, but it might have been $1 too late. I mean, they should have probably picked him up when they lost John Wall. Another series that surprised me is the Portland New Orleans series. Anthony Davis is out there balling.
Yeah, I picked New Orleans to come out in that series.
Really?
Yeah, I picked them to come out.
I saw you got your bracket going or whatnot.
Yeah, I picked New Orleans. I picked Miami. That's gonna be a tough one. But my thing with Philly is, one, Embiid's not playing, and they're still the youngest team in the league, whether you like it or not. They're still the youngest team. Yeah, they won those 16 games in a row, but they didn't really play any heavy hitters,
I mean, looking at the first game, I caught clips of the second game. Philly looks ready, and I think it's going to be whoever wins Game 3. It's going to be that pivotal Game 3. If the Heat can win it, then they've got a shot. If the Heat lose, get ready. It won't be a sweep. It won't be embarrassing.
Funny moment, though. Kevin Hart. Oh, it was hilarious. So you said you only caught clips of it. So I'm sure you know Dwayne Wade went off.
Yeah.
In Game 2, right? And they asked him what got into him. He was like, Kevin Hart. Blame Kevin Hart for this. And then Kevin Hart went on, I think it was Snapchat, and I should have had the clip ready, but I didn't. Whatever. And he in his way made a joke out of it, which is they're cool. But the funniest part about his whole video was he had one of his boys in the background. And he was talking trash about you on ESPN, and it was hilarious. But as much as I want Miami to win Game 3, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Tough sledding, man.
But I still have them winning the series in 7.
Okay, so let's talk about this Indiana Cavs.
Right.
They play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana
Actually,
came
playing
out
right now.
Yeah, Indiana came out and was cooking. Oladipo.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, Oladipo said, "Look, okay, you had some comments about that Paul George trade. I'm gonna prove you wrong." Do you think Cleveland goes out the first round, or does LeBron bring?
Cleveland might win this series in 5, man. They're not losing this series, man.
So you think they woke a sleeping giant?
Absolutely. Because listen, yes, LeBron lost the first round game. Whoop-de-doo. It's not a big I mean, you would have thought that the Cavs lost the series on Sunday after they lost. It was like, people, relax. It was one game. Things happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland wins the series in 5.
Well, and I haven't looked up the stats on this, but people are always surprised if LeBron loses this early. We're accustomed to LeBron sweeping through the East. You know, it's been a long time since.
The East is good, man. I've been saying that. The East is good. Everybody keeps saying the East is weak. If you think about it, the East is probably more competitive than the West. Top to bottom. Not top heavy. Not you take away Houston and you take away Golden State.
I would agree with that. I would agree because if you look at the seeding toward the playoffs in the West, like you said, it was Golden State and Houston, and then it was a toss-up for the other teams.
Right.
You know, Portland came out, I don't really want to say out of nowhere, but I wouldn't have picked them to be the number 3 seed. And then you look at Utah, I don't think they were on anybody's radar.
I wouldn't have picked them to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, and looking at the Utah Thunder series, I think the Thunder are going to win that. I hear Donovan Mitchell, he's hurt
yeah.
So that's going to play a factor.
Paul George got a little dinged up as well, but you know the benefits for that is they still have Westbrook and Melo. If Donovan Mitchell gets hurt, it's a wrap for they might get swept if he doesn't play, but he'll play.
So what do you think about this little mini beef that Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons have, man, about this rookie of the year?
That shirt that he had was classic, though.
Is that rookie on it?
Yeah. It's tough because I'm a believer. Like you're a rookie of the year. You got drafted.
I agree.
Yeah, that's why I was happy that Embiid didn't get it last year. And I mean, it's looking like Ben Simmons is probably going to get it, but I'm like, that's whack. You know, you were a rookie of the year. You got because even though he didn't play no games, you was still on the bench. You was still doing the traveling. He was still doing
practicing.
So. You got used to the NBA life.
Right, and I think he practiced last year, and you saw Blake Griffin. He chimed in a little bit. He was a little in his feelings, but it's the truth. I know if you don't suit up for a game, you're technically classified as a rookie, but I'm with Donovan Mitchell, like a real rookie.
Right.
You know what he's done. Ben Simmons has been impressive.
Absolutely.
Donovan Mitchell just came out of nowhere and shocked everybody. I think people knew that he was going to be good, but this early. Yeah,
to lead the team to the playoffs. He pretty much was the leader of that team and led them to the playoffs. So, I mean, it'll be we got a couple months before it's announced, but I have a feeling that it's going to be Ben Simmons because, one, he's more popular, and if he had a jump shot, it wouldn't even be fair.
So let me ask you about Spurs Warriors. So we kind of tiptoed around. No, I mean we tiptoed around it.
All right, I'll make it quick. Go ahead, ask your question.
The Spurs look horrible, man.
Exactly. That's why I don't even want to. This is going to be the worst. This is the worst series of the playoffs. And you know what? If Kawhi was playing, they'd probably win 1 game or 2. But I mean, if he just came in during the playoffs, they might win 1.
You know, the commentator, he was saying that Greg Popovich, this might have been his greatest coaching job. And I agree because however he got this team to the playoffs.
Yeah,
the Warriors are going to spank.
They have been spent. Well, I will say the Spurs are going to compete.
They were more competitive in the second game. The first game was this.
Yeah, they were up by, I think, 7 or something like that at halftime, and they ended up being down by 5 after the third quarter, and they lost by like 16 to 17, so whatever. So gosh. So if you didn't like watching the Spurs before when they had Kawhi, don't watch them now because they are horrible.
So when do you think Steph Curry comes back? Because there's some talk that he may sit this next series out, the winner of Portland and New Orleans. I think.
How you gonna ask me a question and then answer it? But go ahead, I'm just messing with you.
Nah, you're right. That is horrible.
It's all good.
But I mean, they've got to put strong consideration, man. If they go and play like New Orleans, I mean, Anthony Davis is out there balling.
Yeah, and they played him all season, and it was tough. So, I mean, if he's not ready, he's not ready. If they saying he's going to come back to the conference championship, they better hope they make it to the conference championship. I mean, which they probably will, but I think he comes back the next round.
All right, so Houston.
Who they playing again?
Exactly.
They play Minnesota.
But that game,
it'll go 5. I think Houston wins in 5.
Mr. Harden, I think he went ahead. I mean, after this series, I mean, you gotta get that man MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though it's a regular season award, he's definitely gonna get it. I mean, it was
44 on him.
Yeah, he's gonna be an MVP. I think it won't be unanimous because there's other guys like LeBron and Russell who had another triple-double season. So it won't be unanimous, but he's the MVP.
Karl Anthony Towns, you can't. Clint Capella made Karl Anthony Towns look horrible. He's got to get the ball more, and he's got to be more of a dominant.
No, he has to be more aggressive. That's it.
Yeah.
It ain't even – you take 9 shots. You're the best player – well, you're the second best player on the team.
I blame his teammates and Tom Thibodeau for that, though.
Yeah, so – all right, well, let's get to the old school joint of the day. I can't believe we talked about the Spurs. Ugh. Nah, it's old school joint of the day. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
Great job, fellas.
Thank you. All right, so we out of here till next week. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy Scotty B.
Who? All right, we out of here.